The moment you introduce interactivity, you're handing the steering wheel right over to the audience. That player freedom completely threatens your authorial control, and if you aren't prepared for it, it can literally tear your story apart. And that brings us directly to the core problem we're looking at today. How do you give the audience that incredible, immersive feeling of freedom without completely losing your grip on the narrative? How do you balance meaningful player agency with game design that is actually manageable to produce? It is a real tightrope walk.
Okay, let's dive into this. We're going to follow a 5-part creator's journey. We'll start with the interactive story challenge, then break down the 3 pillars of branching, explore the branching corridor technique, look under the hood at decision matrices, and finally wrap up with playtesting.
Section 1. The Interactive Story Challenge. The Danger of Exponential Growth.
Before we can start building, we really need to understand our foundation. A branching narrative is essentially a story that offers the audience choices at specific junctures, which then lead down completely different story paths. Think of it like a giant tree. You start down at the trunk, one single beginning, and as you move upward, you hit decision nodes, where the story splits outward. You go left, you see one scene. You go right, you get a completely different one.
But here is the massive trap that so many new creators fall into: exponential growth. If every single choice you offer leads to entirely new, independent storylines that never cross paths again, your narrative is going to explode. 2 paths lead to 4, 4 lead to 8, and suddenly you're writing 10,000 pages of script and programming endless scenes that a single player might never even see. It's a game developer's absolute worst nightmare, and it quickly becomes completely impossible to produce.
Section 2. 3 Pillars of Branching. Nessa Cannon's Spectrum.
Game narrative designer Nessa Cannon identifies 3 main pillars of branching to manage this complexity. The first is consequential branching. Now, these are the heavy hitters. These choices lead to significantly different outcomes and major plot divergence. Imagine you're playing a really tense mystery game. You have to choose whether to save a suspect or let them die. That choice might literally change who the culprit turns out to be at the very end of the game. It gives the player this incredible sense of power, but the production cost is astronomically high because you have to write entirely separate realities.
The second pillar is thematic branching. This one's much more subtle. These branches offer different perspectives, but ultimately they loop right back to the exact same point. A great example of this is the game Pentiment. You might be asked to choose between 2 profound dialogue lines about memory and perception, but whichever you choose, the other character's immediate response is funneled back to the exact same point in the plot. The plot didn't actually change, but the theme deepened. It's a brilliant, low-cost way to give players agency.
The third pillar is characterization branching. This is all about letting the player define their character's personality without causing huge plot deviations. Think about classic RPGs, right? Like Mass Effect or Fallout. You get a quest, and you can accept it by being politely agreeable, playfully sarcastic, or just aggressively rude. The quest is going to begin no matter what you say. The plot stays intact, but you get to decide the flavor of your protagonist, which keeps story management incredibly simple.
Now, what's really interesting here is how these pillars interact. Consequential branching has a high cost and a high impact on the plot. Thematic and characterization branching, they have a low cost but high impact on player expression. The absolute best designers don't just pick one. They mix these 3 approaches. Picture them on a triangle. Use characterization and thematic branches constantly to give a continuous illusion of freedom, and you save those expensive consequential branches for the massive, dramatic junctures. That is how you survive production without going bankrupt on content.
Section 3. The Branching Corridor Technique. Balancing freedom with control.
So, we know the types of branches now, but how do we structure them into a flow that actually works? This brings us to a structural rhythm called the branching corridor. It's pretty simple. Step 1, you have a scene. Step 2, you present a decision. Step 3, the player experiences a divergent scene based on that choice. But here is the absolute magic in Step 4. You reconverge. You bring the player back to a shared choke point in the narrative. You give the player local choices that matter in the moment, but the overarching narrative arc stays completely intact. They're bouncing around a wide corridor, but walking down the exact same hallway.
But within those corridors, you have to play fair. You must telegraph the stakes. If you just say, do thing A or do thing B, the player is essentially choosing randomly. That's not agency, that's just guessing. Good narrative design subtly hints at the trade-offs, so players aren't blindsided. If the choice is, take shelter in the abandoned house versus press on through the storm, you're clearly telegraphing a choice between safety versus lost time.
Section 4. Tracking with decision matrices. Remembering what the player did.
We're getting into the technical blueprint here. If you let players make choices, but your story forgets what they did, your continuity completely breaks down and the player feels cheated. To prevent that, you track everything using a decision matrix. Let's say the player chooses to keep a piece of key evidence. Behind the scenes, you track a variable, like a flag in the code, marking that choice. The future consequence? Maybe an NPC trusts them and helps out in the grand finale. By tracking variables, flags, and relationship scores, the story recalls past actions, making the player feel truly seen by the game.
And remember, even if you are using that branching corridor to bring paths back to the same destination, you have to ensure distant branches have unique textures. Let's say your player has to get past a guard. One branch lets them talk their way out, earning the guard's respect. The other lets them knock the guard out. Both branches reconverge at the exact same destination. The player is free. But the journey has to feel distinctly different, and maybe knocking out the guard means his friends come hunting for you later. The destination is the same, but the ripple effects are what give the choice its real meaning.
Section 5. Playtesting for narrative coherence, the final polish.
This is where you hunt down narrative flaws before the audience is ever handed the controller. Here is a rapid-fire playtesting checklist to run through with your peers. First, hunt down dead branches, those throwaway paths that are way too short or just boring. Second, verify character consistency. Third, ensure every ending, even the tragic ones, feels genuinely satisfying. And fourth, check your thematic alignment. Does every single path actually belong in the story you're trying to tell?
During this playtesting phase, you must beware of an incredibly common trap, the out-of-character plot twist branch. It happens all the time, guys. A writer pursues a really cool idea for a twist ending on one specific branch, but to actually get the player there, they accidentally force the protagonist to act completely out of character. It breaks immersion instantly. Listen, if a twist requires breaking the internal logic of your character, it's a bad branch. Just cut it.
And as you finalize these choices, weigh them against player expectations. You want to provide meaningful agency, not railroading. You want to avoid tricking your audiences into sensitive content or forcing outcomes. Think of the interactive film Black Mirror Bandersnatch. In one infamous moment, you're given a choice to accept or refuse a job offer. If you refuse, the story simply forces the outcome anyway, and you take the job. While some called it clever commentary on free will, a lot of others felt it violated the interactive promise and railroaded them. Use forced outcomes very sparingly, and only if it explicitly serves your overarching narrative goal.
Which brings us to this powerful summary quote from our source material. As a creator, you author multiple possibilities, effectively co-writing the story with your audience. That is the absolute magic right there. It is fundamentally a collaboration between the author and the player. You are building the playground, but they are deciding how to play in it.